Show on the road. Hello and welcome. My name is George Bandarian. This is our State of AI Venture Landscape and Investment Opportunities event. I'm the founding partner at Untapped Ventures. I'm glad you're here today. I want to welcome our entire New York Tech Week community of founders and investors. I hope you're enjoying all the events this week. This one's obviously online, so it gives you a chance to kick back and enjoy it from home. I also want to welcome our Untapped community of investors and portfolio companies and our friends from different communities, including A360 and the Liquidity Conference and other groups. For those of you that have been to our events before, you know that we bring both the education and the entertainment with tons of data and videos and demos. So buckle up. I'm going to take you on a ride. And while you're buckling that seatbelt, let's knock out some housekeeping real quick. So regarding Q&A, we'll definitely have some time for questions at the end. So drop your Q&A in the Q&A box, not the chat. And keep an eye on the Q&A and upvote any questions you'd like us to answer. At the end, I will provide you a gift of our deck in our AI cheat sheet, or how to use AI and how to invest in AI cheat sheet. So hang tight for that. I hope you'll stay until the end, but in case you can't, it is being recorded and we'll share the recording afterwards. If you have any questions at all, you can go ahead and drop that via email to us at hello@untapped.ventures, and the right person will get back to you. And like I said in the beginning, we're really big on community here at Untapped. We want you to get a ton of value today beyond just my presentation. So let's light up the chat. Again, feel free to introduce yourself and share your help and your ask, right? How can you help the community? What are you looking for? And if you have an ask, if you're a founder, give us your UVP so everybody knows, what you're up to in a clear one sentence. You should have that by now, right? And if you're an investor, share what you're looking to invest in. So a big part of this is, even though it's a web meeting, there's still networking that's possible just by keeping an eye on the chat. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the agenda. So I'll do a quick intro so you get to know a little bit more about me and Untapped if we haven't met yet. Then I'm going to show you what's happening in AI with some razzle dazzle, get you excited about the future. We'll dive into what's happening in the venture landscape. I'm going to show you some startups that are creating leading companies and attracting big funding. And I'm going to share some playbooks and frameworks on how to think about investing in AI. I'll play some videos and we're going to have a ton of fun. We'll make it a really good hour. So who's ready to rock and roll? Let me know in the chat if you're ready to rock and roll. Anybody? All right. LFG, I love that. All right, good stuff. So let's get going here. So we all know this man. After disrupting industries like banking, automotive, space, neurotech, social media, and basically winning in almost everything. Elon is straight and center in AI with his new company, XAI, which just raised $6 billion on an $18 billion pre. We were fortunate enough to invest. And, AI is a common theme in all of Elon's companies, and it's an area that he's an expert in. In my opinion, he's the most successful modern day tech founder. We can call him the GOAT. I named my middle son's middle name after him. And today was a big day. I don't know if you guys saw or not. In case you missed it, we just had the successful launch of Starship, the biggest rocket. I'll play a clip for you guys.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. We have the stuff. Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Such a beautiful sight. Unbelievable.
All right, 30 seconds into flight. The rumbles are still building here in the Raptor's nest. We're seeing 32 out of 33 engines lit on the Super Heavy right now. Coming up shortly is going to be max Q, that maximum aerodynamic pressure as we go uphill on the vehicle.
and it's gonna pass the speed of sound in a couple seconds. Pretty amazing, and
Max
obviously
Q.
it has AI all over it, right?
All right, we just passed through max Q, so we're going to continue on up. We still have about
Vehicle is
a
supersonic.
minute and 30 seconds until we get to.
So it just hit supersonic. So speaking of Elon, and my middle son, I said that I named my middle son's middle name. That's Grayson over there on the left. His little brother Gianni on the right, and big brother Gio in the middle, and my wife Miriam. I'm George Bandarian again, born and raised in LA, where I'm speaking to you now. Bunch of our team is in New York right now, participating in the New York Tech Week Madness and having a good time. So yeah, let me provide a quick intro. So I went to USC. After graduation, I read Ray Kurzweil's book, The Age of Spiritual Machines, which sparked my interest in AI. And I was really interested in the thought that one day we would build machines that would feel like they have sentience. And this was in my 20s. And now here we are. We've been doing that with LLMs. And so it's a really exciting time. I went on to build a company that leveraged computer vision and OCR and RPA, robotic process automation, to help companies eliminate paper and automate manual processes with digital workflows. We grew that. We sold that in 2018. And then I started angel and fund investing while doing soul searching to discover my life purpose and how I wanted to spend the coming decades. And after a couple of years, I got clear that as a big personal development guy, I really wanted to help humanity reach its untapped human potential, hence the name Untapped Ventures, and to help us become superhuman by today's standards, safely and ethically, by fostering innovation and breakthroughs in AI and neurotech. So in 2020, I launched Untapped Ventures. In 2021, we launched Fund One to invest in early stage AI startups that are uplifting humanity. We're playing the long game. Our vision in the coming decade is to raise a bunch of funds and invest a bunch of money into the leading AI founders and help them uplift humanity and touch the lives of 1 billion people. And in the process, become one of the leading pure play AI venture funds, delivering top decile returns to our investors. So that's a little bit about me and Untapped. Hopefully that provides some good context. Now let's dive into the content and look at what's happening in AI. So we all know by now that ChatGPT was the fastest tech, right, to reach 100 million monthly active users globally. They did that in 2 months, whereas it took everybody else 3 to 6 years. And as a matter of fact, OpenAI was the fastest to reach $1 billion in revenue, and then $2 billion in revenue just a few months later, $2 billion run rate. No one's done it that fast. And a couple of weeks ago was a big week for AI, specifically for OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft. They all made huge announcements. OpenAI released their new model, GPT-4o, O meaning Omni model, focusing on improvements in audio, video, vision, and emotion. So hopefully you saw that launch video, but if you didn't, here's a quick part of my favorite part of that video.
My friend Barrett here, he's been having trouble sleeping lately. And I want you to tell him a bedtime story about robots and love.
Oh, a bedtime story about robots and love? I got you covered. Gather round, Barrett. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte. Byte was a curious robot, always exploring.
Started this story, but I want a little bit more emotion in your voice, a little bit more drama.
Got it. Let's add some drama. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte.
No, ChatGPT. I really want maximal emotion, like maximal expressiveness, much more than you were doing before.
Understood. Let's amplify the drama. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte. Byte
Actually, can
was
you do this in a robotic voice now?
initiating dramatic robotic voice. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from ours, there was a robot named Byte. Byte was a curious robot, always exploring new circuits.
Barrett here, calm down a little bit. Can you end the story, but do it in a singing voice?
And so Byte found another robot friend, and they lived circuitly ever after.
Thank you so much.
So pretty incredible, right? I mean, we now have passed just typing with ChatGPT and chatting with it in text form to this multimodal, and you could see how amazing that was. Not only human sounding, but understanding emotion. And as they gave her multiple scenarios, robot voice, more emotion, you know, singing, she was able to even turn it into a song, right? So it's pretty incredible. A lot of you might have seen that video. I think most people haven't seen this one. So check out this demo of creating a full documentary movie about Paris in the 1800s using ChatGPT and Sora.
This engine model. And the reason why we preview these models as we're doing research is to really engage with like all of the stakeholders and kind of show what the technology is.
Oops.
This engine model. And of course, I don't speak many. Excited to be on stage here. Perfect. And now the last step is like share this sample with that we created over text to speech. And
sorry, so that didn't start at the right times, but basically he script for
we'll
the
bring
documentary.
everything together for our modalities to experience this history lesson.
And then he gave that to Sora, and Sora basically created the documentary movie. So completely
in the heart of Paris,
AI.
the
This is all
1889
generative AI.
Exposition Universelle, the Eiffel.
La Tour Eiffel se dresse fièrement comme un symbole d'innovation et de vision pour l'avenir. And let's try one last person, avec des foules élégamment vêtues.
And so then I know that was a little choppy, I apologize about that, but basically, was there connection issues on my end? Okay, so hopefully it's okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a connectivity bar too. Okay, it's better now. Thank you, Charles. Charles, as my tech support screen share is gone. Interesting. All right, well, that was weird. Okay, so Sean, Jeff, are we good? You guys got to give me a heads up if I'm having issues.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay. All right, awesome. So basically, I know that was choppy, but basically what he did was he generated a full documentary video using just ChatGPT and being able to take his voice, transcript, and then using Sora to create the video. So that was pretty amazing. So Google, not to be outdone, a couple of days later, they had their own announcements. And so let me play a highlight from there. You might have already noticed this. So Google's put in their generative AI in their search. They had a little bit of issues in the beginning, but I'm sure they'll get over that. Overall, it's pretty amazing what search is transforming into.
I got that swagger, I got the feel, I got that new thing. I got that extra, got the real deal. When I just do my thing, do my thing. I got that hustle, that straight up swing. I got that no thing. Do my thing. Stop that, just fuck now. I just do it like that. Do my thing. Stop that, just fuck now. I just do it like that. Do my thing. Stop that, just fuck now. Do it like that. I got the new stuff.
So you get the sense there. I mean, basically, my wife's a nutritionist, and now she can just create her meal plans using generative AI on Google, whereas before she used to do them all by hand. That's one simple example of many. So really exciting what's happening. And the reason that all of these products are being adopted so quickly, and OpenAI's revenue and user growth is so profound, is because businesses and even individuals can use this simultaneously to both do things that increase revenue and also reduce time, increase productivity, and ultimately reduce expenses, making a massive improvement to the EBITDA or bottom line, right? So if you could increase the top line, cut your expenses, it's pretty profound. And corporate America is adopting it in record numbers. 83% of companies claim that using AI in their business is one of their top business strategies. And so I'll play another video for you guys. This is one of my favorite case studies. This one's from Moderna. And so take a listen for how they adopted ChatGPT enterprise-wide, and they built over 400 GPTs in just a matter of a few months.
We believe very profoundly at Moderna that ChatGPT and what OpenAI is doing to change the world. We are really looking at every business process, to manufacturing to commercial, and to think about how you redesign those processes.
Percent of companies want to go do Gen AI, but only 10% of them are successful. They haven't built the mechanisms of actually transforming your workforce to adopt new technology and new capabilities. We've been born as a platform company, and we think about our drug development as a platform. And with the onset of enterprise ChatGPT, these GPTs became embedded into the workflows of how our users are really using it. We're up to now 400 GPTs within 2 months, far more than what we expected.
Some might be surprised that the legal department was the first department to wholly adopt ChatGPT here at Moderna. We have a 100% adoption rate of ChatGPT and other generative AI large language models here in the company. One of the GPTs that we're most excited about is called Contract Companion. You can upload the contract into the GPT, ask it for a quick high-level summary, or even ask specific questions. And what it enables the legal function to do is to focus our time and attention on those matters that are truly driving an impact for patients to allow us to deliver on our mission here at Moderna.
Dose ID GPT really allows us to take these large data sets of thousands of pages and input that into the GPIT optimal dose recommendation from thousands of pages of data. It provides supportive rationale for why we're picking a specific dose over other doses. It allows us to create customized visualization so we can really understand the data. And it also allows the study team members to have a conversation with the GPT to analyze the data from multiple different angles.
I think
and trusting it for contracts and dosing. I think that's a great example of enterprise-wide adoption of AI, and we're seeing this growing. But it's not just ChatGPT, right? This is not a ChatGPT OpenAI webinar. I know some of the examples so far have been. Let me play another video for you guys. This one might look a little familiar.
Hey everyone, if you're hearing this, that means we're at the point in the State of AI Venture Landscape and Investment Opportunities webinar, where George is showing off his magic tricks, including this AI.
George, can you restart it?
Pretty amazing what's possible with generative AI right now, right? So,
was it choppy?
It's lagging, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe disconnect your screen and reshare.
Okay. So as I'm doing that, all right. So I'm gonna just continue from here.
You're gonna go all in and commit to AI personally? Will you take it back to your teams and adopt the latest tools? And most importantly, are you ready to jump in and make smart investments in innovative AI startups?
So I don't know if you caught that or not, but that's not me. That's my AI avatar. So I created that using a tool called HeyGen. And so this is great, right? So this is an example of one of many thousands of AI tools now that do a specific function really well. In this case, creating a video avatar. And all I had to do is feed it a 30-second clip of myself talking about something else. Now it has my likeness, right? My video and my voice. And now we're able to give it any script or any prompt and create any videos. So my marketing team is able to create videos. So imagine how you can use a tool like this for your marketing. And then it's not just that, but it can also do this. Let me go to the next video.
Hola a todos. Si está escuchando esto, significa que estamos en el punto del seminario web sobre el estado del panorama empresarial y las oportunidades de inversión en IA, en el que George muestra sus trucos de magia, incluido este avatar de IA. Es bastante.
So as you could see there, obviously that was in Spanish. So as you're going into different markets, whether it's here in the US or abroad, you can create the video and out of the box, flip it into one of, I think, 25 languages out of the box. And it sounds pretty amazing. So, you know, there's a lot of capabilities out there, and that's what's happening here with AI. Just from, hopefully those videos were a good teaser just to get started. But it's not just in generative AI specifically, in some of the models and apps layer that we've been talking about. There's really truly unbelievable innovations taking place both in and around generative AI. So let's take a look at some of the exciting sectors that we follow, right? So AI is being used in drug discovery and design, in material sciences to create new materials like new wood, new plastic, new cement, things that are just different than the original. And neurotech, I think I saw a few people in the chat that are doing neurotech stuff, which is near and dear to my heart, right? Using AI in brain computing interface, it's like to make the brain better or use the concepts of the brain to make the AI better. In synthetic data, robotics, and quantum AI. So it's all very exciting. So let's just take a quick look at what's happening with the drug discovery side of things. Google recently announced the AlphaFold 3, which will allow us to better understand the living world by predicting all proteins and molecules.
In today's Scoop News, we'll talk about Google DeepMind's AlphaFold 3 as it has revolutionized research by making it simple to predict the 3D structures of proteins by an improved version of its AI model that predicts not just the structure of proteins, but also the structure of all life's molecules. The work from the new model, AlphaFold 3, will help researchers in medicine, agriculture, materials science, and drug development test potential discoveries. Previous versions of AlphaFold only predicted the structures of proteins. AlphaFold 3 goes beyond that and can model DNA, RNA, and smaller molecules called ligands, expanding the model's capability for scientific use. DeepMind says the new model shows a 50% improvement in prediction accuracy compared to its previous models. So how does it actually work?
The video froze, George. Actually, you froze too. All right, sorry guys. So yeah, George, you lagged, so you froze, and so now you're good right now.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't have a hard wire nearby. So, of course, I never have connection issues except the one day that, you know, we're having a big event. But so I apologize about that. All right, try it again. Yeah, so Oliver Zahn leads this effort. He's a Harvard astrophysicist. He led data science at Impossible Foods, SpaceX, and Google. Not a bad resume. And now they're using this AI model with 300,000 species of the plant kingdom to create plant-based food alternatives to dairy and animal-based food. So here's their award-winning cheeses, the blue cheese in the middle, which is unbelievable to think that it's not the real thing, the taste, the texture, higher nutrient count, and costs less to produce. The Michelin star chefs love it. Users love it. They're in 2 of the top 10 restaurants. And interestingly, their first 2 global scale-out partners are dairy companies, big dairy companies from Europe, who see this as a big opportunity with kind of the vegan cheeses. So it's really interesting, right? Again, our thesis, what I told you in the beginning, we invest in the leading AI founders that are building startups that uplift humanity, solving big global problems. This is a great example of that. Another passion area is robotics. And so hopefully you guys are following what's happening there. I have a lot of different robot videos, but for now, I'll just play the Tesla one. Tell me if there's a lag, Sean. This one's a few months old, but I found a lot of people still haven't seen it. So this is Tesla's humanoid robot video. Optimus Gen 2.
Yeah, looks like this one's lagging too, George. Sorry, guys. Guessing he'll be back in a few. Yeah, happened again, George.
Yeah, it seems it's not liking the video.
Yeah, you're still lagging, and your screen's not shared. So once you get back, apologize, guys. Thank you for your patience. Now you're back, George.
Okay, one sec. Let me see if I do have a hardwire. All right, fun stuff, guys. I love it. The good thing is I've been doing presentations and demos for over 20 years and nothing can rattle me. So I do apologize because it's not fun as an attendee to go through a fantastic presentation that's choppy. But we'll make the best out of it. I think the content and the value and everything else will make up for it, hopefully. All right, and hopefully I won't have any more issues going forward. I think I've played the majority of the videos, so hopefully we can just kind of fly through this at this point. All right, so now we're gonna go. So that was a lot of showing you guys what's happening, right, in different areas, really led by AI. And so now let's go ahead and zone in and focus into what's happening specifically in the venture landscape. So as you may know, in 2023, global VC funding was down 42%. Deal count fell 30% year over year. Q4 of 2023 was the worst quarter for VC in 6 years. So not good. However, AI was the bright spot. It was the largest sector to show an increase in funding. More than 1 in 4 US venture dollars went into US AI startups. And that continued this year in Q1 as global venture funding grew 11% to 58 billion. AI captured 11 billion of that, or around 20%. 1 in 5 of all global dollars went into AI. So AI is definitely getting the lion's share and is doing good. Given this hot start this year, we should expect AI startups to raise about 55 billion, keeping it as the fastest growing category of US venture investment. It's creating the most unicorns, right? With at least 31 unicorns created in the last 17 months. And it's no surprise that all the tier one VCs, including Andreessen, Sequoia, Khosla, have been investing billions of dollars into hundreds of companies. And here is a nice breakdown. It might be a little hard to read on this slide, but like I said, I'm going to offer the gift at the end, and you could kind of read in. But this shows a breakdown of their recent investments by category, including stage and funding amount. So it's a really kind of data-packed slide. And as you see in all of our content, we always have the sources, so you could always click and drill down into the original sources as you're doing your research. So let's take a look at what they're investing in. So as we could see, AI is already moving from general to vertical. Like we saw SaaS go from SaaS to vertical SaaS. We see AI going to vertical AI. And for valuations, yeah, AI startups are definitely commanding and I think deserving a premium valuation. 20% higher for seed, 40% higher at Series A, 60% higher at Series B. We look at valuation a different way. In Q1, the median early stage AI valuation was above 70 million for early stage. So that includes Series A, seed and Series A, and around 100 million for late stage. Let's take a look at the mega rounds, right? The top 10 largest deals in AI in Q1. So there was 4 deals that had $1 billion of funding or more. And one of them was to Figure, another, well, they raised 675 million, but that was another one of the robotics companies who partnered with OpenAI. And then Q2 is not done yet, but here are the 7 largest AI deals in Q2 so far. 3 of them are $1 billion or more again, with xAI leading the pack. Again, like I mentioned in the beginning, raising 6 billion at a 24 billion post, making it the second most valuable generative AI company in the world, only behind its competitor, OpenAI. And it's still, you know, we're still in the early days to talk about IPOs and exits, but we're starting to see a little bit of activity. IPOs grew from 3.8 billion to 9.6 year over year. Part of that was Astera Labs going public. And on the right, we see the exit activity, 55 exits in Q1 compared to 38 in the previous quarter. And one of those exits in Q1 was the Veradigm's acquisition of Science.io for 140 million, which was one of our portfolio companies. They're actually based in New York as well. So that's, hopefully that gives you a good crash course on the venture landscape and what's happening. So let's take a look at where this is going and why is this happening, and you know, what's the cause for all this. So AI is a massive platform shift that's going to fundamentally change most, if not every, consumer and business interaction and experience in the coming decade. In many ways, just like the platforms from the past decades did, whether you look at servers, PCs, smartphones, cloud computing, social media, we all here remember at least a couple, if not all of these before and afters, right? Just think about what life was like before this platform shift, and then what life was like after and how much it impacted it. And so the same thing is happening. And so, you know, it's important for investors that are on the line, right? I'm talking to both groups here, both founders and investors. And so it's important for investors not to confuse AI with these other technologies that didn't live up to their potential. It's not another fad or hype cycle like NFTs and JPEGs on, right, on a token or the metaverse. You know, this is a fundamental platform shift. So let's take a look at how Mark Cuban described it.
The amount of change we're going to see over the next 5 years, 10 years, will dwarf everything that's happened over the last 30. We went from automating pen and paper, right, with spreadsheets, to connecting PCs into local area networks to, you know, connecting people locally, right, to connecting networks to get the internet, to getting the network effect of communicating people globally. But now we're introducing artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, et cetera. So, and what that enables is the automation of automation, right? And so the people who were writing software, particularly at the lower end, unless you're doing these advanced things, they're gone, right? The people that writing itself, it's doing itself, right? It's just math.
Right. So I like how he put it. And as a matter of fact, Goldman Sachs says that the global investment in AI could reach 200 billion by next year. And Zion Market Research says that that could more than double to 422 billion by 2028. And Goldman points out that while electricity and PCs unleashed investment booms as much as 2% of US GDP, AI could have an even bigger impact than that. And so this correlation to electricity is an interesting one. A lot of experts believe that AI's impact on humanity will be like that of electricity. So think about this platform shift, because electricity didn't just like give us light. It changed every aspect of life. So imagine these people that were living here, they couldn't imagine how their life was going to change in the next 10 years, right? But it wasn't just that the horse and carriage went away and they had lights on the street lamps, right? Every aspect of their life went away. I mean, changed. So electricity made life easier, safer, more comfortable, more productive. It added new forms of communication, entertainment, like the TV and radio, and innovation. It was a total game changer. In the process, it disrupted lots of old industries and it created new industries. New industries with new categories and new categories with multiple subcategories, right? So like even like kitchen appliances didn't exist. And now you add the kitchen appliances category, underneath there, you add refrigerators, refrigerators, microwaves, stoves, and different categories like that. So I think it's really interesting what's happening. And especially if you think about AI agents, right? I think I saw a couple of people in the chat that are building in the agent space. That's one that I'm really excited about because, I came from that business process automation world. And so I feel that right now we're going from the old days of search, right? Where Google would serve us a bunch of ads with, and a bunch of marketing content that blog writers wrote so that they could rank high. So you had to sift through all of that to find what you wanted. So now we're in the answer stage, right? So we went from search to answers, meaning now we have AI systems like ChatGPT and even now Google's generative AI search bar, meta search, that can just give us the answer instantly. So if we're looking for an answer to something easy or complex, these systems give that to us. But the next stage, and what we're really entering in the next 12 months, is the action stage, right? Where we have agents, and these agents are task-driven or goal-driven, right? And so they could be working on something for an hour, a day, or even a project for a month. Like, hey, go accomplish this campaign, like get me 10 customers. And in the process, the agent can do many things, including come back to you, asking you for questions and clarifications, doing check-ins with you, but also it could possibly be going to Upwork and Fiverr and hiring humans in the loop. And so this is where it's going, and I think it's really exciting, the capabilities we're going to have with these agents. So here is a very, very simple demo. This is from a product called Multion. So here's an example of me telling it like, hey, book me an Uber to my next meeting. I'm stuck in one meeting in person, and I just go in there and I say, book me an Uber to my next meeting. Again, very simple example. But in this case, what you're going to see is it's going to go into my Google Calendar. It's going to check my calendar.
I'm navigating to Google Calendar to check for the next event in the user's schedule. I'm clicking on the next event in the user's Google Calendar to...
So, I just don't like the narration. So yeah, it went into my calendar. It found what the location of my next meeting was. It copied that. It went into Uber. It pasted it in there, and it's gonna get the ride and it's gonna confirm it. And so I could just walk out and hop in my Uber. Super, super simple example. But this is, these are the capabilities that many companies are building out now, this agent capability to complete a whole task or business process. All right, and there we are, and that's done. So, with that said, so now let's dive into the third and my favorite segment, which is how to invest in AI. And for founders, I would look at this in how to build and fundraise in AI, right? because this is the way we look at it. So, and by the way, if you guys have questions, just make sure you drop it in the Q&A, not in the chat. We'll have 5 or 10 minutes at the end to go through that. So let's take a look at how to invest in AI. So again, this is talking to the investors, and then the benefit for the founders is that you have a good sense of how. Sorry, I'm getting some noise by my window now. Let me get my AirPods on. Okay. All right. So basically, there's two kinds of companies, right? So there's all startups should be leveraging AI. Those are companies using AI. And what I've been really talking about this whole webinar is on native AI startups, right? Companies that are building AI. And so again, if you're an investor, you're getting pitched, I separate between, SaaS companies using AI to increase their value prop, but it's not their core value prop, versus native AI, that the core value prop is around the artificial intelligence that they've built and how they're using it. So, of course, they should have AI engineers, they should have deep AI and technical expertise. And so the easiest way to think about them is through this 4 layers of value creation in generative AI. So the applications are the apps that we use. So that one video creation, that AI avatar is an app called HeyGen, for example, right? Then you have the infrastructure layer. This is the tooling for AI. You have the models layer, which is like, for example, the GPT-4o is a model. The one's creating the model, the Llama model from Meta. And then you have the compute, which is the hardware, the AI chips. This is where NVIDIA plays. So these are the 4 layers of value creation. And while generative AI was the tipping point for AI innovation and awareness and adoption globally, these categories are very quickly get saturated. And a lot of the players don't have a true moat or defensibility. You can't have $20 billion companies, right? $100 million ARR companies in the marketing and sales copy category, for example. So one problem is that the apps layers are getting very saturated. The second problem is that actually the bigger problem is that a lot of them are just ChatGPT wrappers, right? They're a thin veneer layer on top of ChatGPT or other models. And so the innovation really belongs to ChatGPT, not necessarily the startup, which is an issue. Now, I'm generalizing here. Obviously, what we're looking for when we do invest in this space is when there is a true moat and true defensibility, because we've already seen this happen multiple times. Is OpenAI is innovating very quickly, right? And Sam Altman said, if you're going to compete against us, like essentially do the 2% of things we're not going to do. So what he's trying to say is like, by the time this is said and done, we're going to do 98% of the things. And so what are the 2% of things that they're not going to do? I'll talk about that in a second. But like, for example, they released the Sora, and that puts the whole video category, right, in question. Because now all of a sudden, you can use Sora to create videos, and they are able to meet with all the top Hollywood execs because they're OpenAI. And so it's really hard for startups to compete. So as a result, our thesis is, as a fund, while we've made some investments in the apps layer, and we might make a few more, unless there's a strong moat, like there's a total data advantage. They started off by having the data or by having the customers. That's not something that we're interested in. And so what we look at is the infrastructure, the models, and the compute. We see these as the picks, shovels, and Levi jeans in the gold rush analogy. As this whole AI platform takes off, there's just so much need for new infrastructure, new categories of infrastructure for AI engineers. The models is where the magic happens. And yes, OpenAI and Google, have won at the big platform level, but now we see the models, like the real opportunities in the vertical models. So as an example, that Science.io that I showed you earlier, we'll come back to that. And then the compute, NVIDIA just crossed a few trillion in market cap yesterday, right? They became the second most valuable company behind Microsoft. They just passed Apple. But their monopoly is not going to last that long. There's a lot of bright young founders that are taking novel concepts from physics and biology and applying that to building better chips, better models. So one such example is Extropic, another investment we're excited about. So this is a couple of leaders in quantum computing from Google. They left Google because they saw the problem with quantum. Like everybody's still like, most people don't know about quantum. The people that know about quantum are excited. And then you have the people at the top. These are two guys at the top that knew the problems with quantum, said there's got to be a better way. They left, and now they're building a chip company that's essentially using a concept in science that is relatively new called thermodynamics, which is essentially, instead of in quantum trying to isolate all the noise, they're leveraging it. They're leveraging the chaos and the entropy to actually go faster and have more powerful chips. Really, really interesting stuff that they're doing there. Again, to take on NVIDIA's unsustainable monopoly. We've made a couple investments at that layer. Science.io, I mentioned that earlier. So again, this is a vertical SaaS. So they built an LLM called Kepler. They trained it on 2 billion medical records, and they figured out how to take unstructured healthcare data and make it structured and usable for hospitals and insurers and the top medical healthcare companies. And that was the exit that happened. And another one is U.com. Again, in that models layer, there is search AI tool like Perplexity. If we look at the Sequoia on the left, the Sequoia market map for generative AI, they're there in the search category that's highlighted in purple. And if we look at the CB Insights on the right, they're there as well. So these are, how we look at things. So just to kind of recap this section here. So as you're investing in AI, you want to ask, are they native AI or are they just using AI? Where are they situated on the 4 levels of value creation? How defensible is their competitive advantage? Do they have a true moat? And ultimately, what is their mission? Is what they're building a nice to have tool that could be replaced or discarded, or is this kind of a must have? And there's some more technical due diligence questions that I've provided here. I don't have enough time to go through them, but they'll be in that gift that I'm providing at the end. So again, to the investors in the room, so assuming you're like, okay, this was helpful, I'm ready to invest, I just need deal flow. Actually, I was just with Jason Calacanis in Napa for the liquidity conference. I don't know if you could see this. If I bring it closer, it actually, yeah, he has this thing. He says, deal flow is destiny. I got this little sticker. We had a good time. I actually just got back last night. So yeah, deal flow is destiny, right? So how do you get into the best? Here is the CB Insights recent AI 100 list. So we've already invested in a handful of these companies, or we're investing. I'm certainly talking to many of them. And so you need to think about your sourcing strategy. How can you follow, like, are you going to follow all the AI startups and news? Are you going to join AI groups and accelerators? Are you going to invest in AI funds? Like, what's ultimately going to be your unique sourcing strategy? We have ours. This is our sourcing flywheel. A lot of it is based on thought leadership and authority work just like this, and partnering with the leading and co-investing with the leading fellow AI investors. So we partner with both the leading pure play AI funds and the tier 1 VCs for our investments. So, I think a simple thing, especially for a lot of the individual investors that are here, if you're looking to get deeper into the kind of the investments here, is to really consider investing in an AI fund where you can learn, you can get access to their deal flow, and then you can co-invest and pick the deals you want to co-invest in. And of course, that's something that's available in our fund. I won't pitch our fund here too much, but here is the faces. We have, I think, close to 60 happy investors now in the communities that they're part of. And we do some things that are unique, like we have our monthly investor mastermind, where each month I provide an update on deal flow and investments. I bring in one of our portfolio CEOs to talk to our investors. I share my favorite AI tools, and then we mastermind on investor topics, with regarding AI or VC, or sometimes even outside of that, like crypto, real estate. So if you're an investor and you're interested to learn more, I'm happy to talk offline. I will say there's a lot of great reasons to why invest now, but probably the most important one that's not on this slide is that we're at the tail end. We have a final close at the end of this month on Friday, June 28th. We're already oversubscribed, but I'm open to the right fit investors that could make a quick decision given our closes in 3 weeks. And yeah. So anyway, so that's a little bit about that side of it. So as we reach the end here, I just want to do some takeaways and open it up to Q&A. So number one, no matter who you are, no matter what role you came in with, commit to AI. Take the red pill like Neo did in the Matrix and go all in with AI. Number two, again, no matter whether you're a corporate or a startup or wherever you're at, build your AI team, right? The A Team was one of my favorite shows growing up. And so you want to build your AI team. And finally, there's a gold rush happening in AI. There's no doubt about it. This is the most profound technology, and we're going to have a lot of interesting things happening in the next 5 years. Really, in the next 3 years, a lot of the companies will be built. And so get in the game. If I can help in any way, let me know. If you're already in the game and you're already investing in great deal flow, would love to share deal flow and co-invest together. So just to end off here, we have different members of our community that are here. And I'm going to offer you a few different paths to go forward. And so let's actually do that here on the next slide. So I'm going to actually fire up a quick poll here. So let's see. All right. So here we go. So the question here is essentially, what's the single biggest action you're going to take after this event? If you're really at the start and you're just here to learn, and you want to continue learning, that's great. If you're a startup and you want to build a stronger moat for your startup, right? Like you came to this, you're like, wow, I see what George is saying. We're not going to survive as a ChatGPT wrapper. I need to go back and build a stronger moat. That's great. That's a great takeaway. If you're a startup that you feel like you check our boxes, right? And I'd love to chat with you. Please apply, plus pitch us. Kevin Lee from my team, he's a principal. He's there in New York Tech Week right now. We'd love to hear from you. Obviously, we have a lot of dry powder. We want to invest in the best AI startups with the best AI investors. If you're a VC and you want to co-invest with us on deals, that's great. If you're an individual investor and you want to learn more about Fund 1 before that window closes, check that box. And finally, if you're an institutional investor and you want to build a relationship for Fund 2, you could check that last box. So we like 100% participation, pretty close, usually 90%. You guys are at about 44%. So if you were checking emails or doing something else, if you could just take a moment, just do me the favor and drop your poll response. That'd be super helpful. Just that gives us a sense of what's your biggest takeaway after coming to this today? How would you like to interact with us on a go-forward basis so we know how to interact with you? So you guys are up to 50%. We are running out of time for questions. So let's see. I'll take it to let's do 1/3. You guys are at about 58%. I appreciate that. Everybody that was not planning on doing a poll is like, oh wow, this guy's actually serious. He's not gonna move the shit forward until I respond. Yep, absolutely. All right, so I think this is a good stopping point. So let's end the poll and let's just take a look at it real quick. So it looks like a lot of people just want to keep learning. That's okay. Although don't stay too long and don't miss your opportunity. A handful of startups want to build a stronger moat. That's great. If that was the value, that's awesome. Pitch, co-invest, request funding, join waitlist. Okay, awesome. So with that, I'm going to go to our very last slide. So here's the gift. And Jeff and Sean, can you guys drop it also in the chat? So you could drop it. You could grab the link from the chat right now. Jeff just dropped it. Actually, Jeff hasn't dropped it yet. Jeff, can you drop that? Okay, perfect. So both. Thanks, Eddie. That was funny. Jeff, wake up, Jeff. All right. So Jeff and Shant both dropped it. So if you want to click that Typeform link, you could do it on your computer. Otherwise, if you're on your, if you want to just scan it on your phone, you can scan the QR code. But this will just ask you some feedback questions. How did we do? What went well? What can we improve? And then what you're interested in, what journey you're interested in continuing with us on, if any. And again, if you are an investor interested in the fund, feel free to, on that last screen, book a call with me and take it from there. So with that said, I'm going to just go right into the Q&A box. We have about 4 minutes left. I don't see any that have been upvoted. So
it doesn't look like they can upvote.
Yeah.
I don't see the feature.
Okay, I guess that wasn't enabled, Sean. So make sure you enable that next time. Okay, so Crudia asks, what do you think are the most promising spaces for AI startups? So hopefully I answered that. I mean, that was really the main content of the event, of what we look at and what we invest in, what we caution, investors that are new to AI against. George Giorgione, what a great name, George Giorgione. Oh man, I got to meet you. He asks, what's the minimum investment for Untapped? Happy to talk about that offline. Just go ahead and fill out the survey and let me share the deck with you, and we can get on a call. A different George L. Wow, look at this. We got some amazing people here. Look at all these Georges. George, what's the best way to start as an angel investor? So that was on the sourcing slide. So again, if you have a ton of deal flow and if you understand the space, then I think get into it. Otherwise, honestly, the best way to start is pick a AI fund that you believe in. It doesn't have to be mine. I'd like it to be mine, but pick an AI fund, start working with them, start learning through them, and start co-investing with them. That's what I would recommend. Anonymous asks, what's the minimum investment? Again, let's just talk about that offline. Link for the medical startup you mentioned. I think you're talking about Science.io. But again, they exited to Veradigm. But yeah, so if you click the link, if you get the gift, you'll have the whole deck, and so you'll be able to access everything. So Hugh asks, what are the risks? What should we be looking out for? For instance, no one seems to be talking about how power hungry AI is and the impact on climate change. Yeah, that's a huge deal. So there's a lot of people trying to make more power efficient chips, and the NVIDIA chips are horrible because they're GPUs. They're not designed, they're graphics processing units, right? They're designed for video games and graphics. They're not really designed for AI. And so I think it's going to be really interesting where you have the neuromorphic computing, you have different kinds of AI chips that are coming that are made from first principles for AI, and AI's processing load is completely different than the load for graphics and even for CPUs, like our everyday Excel and Microsoft Word back in the days. So how can IT and cyber leaders who are the main buyers get more involved with these companies? Do VC firms encourage CXO networks to be involved in terms of advising, providing feedback? Yes, and that's something that we're definitely looking for, as well as like building up our corporate partners that want to learn about the technologies and try it out. So please reach out. Naveen says, while the creation in Gen AI apps is getting encroached, what are the top 3 things you as an investor look for in pitches for the seed round of a raise? So it all depends on where you fall, right? So we look at a models company different than an apps company, than a hardware chip company. We also look at it, differently based on the stage. So the seed round is what you're asking about. I mean, generally at seed, there's got to be proof, right? There's got to be proof of something important. Whatever the riskiest element in your plan is, should be proven out to a certain extent at seed. And then last question, and then we'll end it off, is, are there any possibilities for the upskilling of the employees using AI? Do we have any startups who are doing it? I'm pretty sure there are. I'm not familiar with it, but I know there's a lot of people that are tackling the challenge of that. Actually, one of our portfolio companies, Billion Minds, has a corporate program for upskilling employees, including teaching them soft skills and AI, preparing them for an AI age. So yeah, sorry, I wasn't clear. So the link we gave you is to the gift. You fill out the feedback form, and then at the end, you'll get 2 links. One is the full deck, and then the other is our cheat sheet. So so that's that. And then as far as the recording goes, yeah, after we're done with this, we'll go ahead and finalize it, and through Luma, you'll get a link to the recording. So I think I've covered all the questions, and we're right on time. So I just want to say thanks again, everybody. This was a pleasure. It was fun. It was someone saying Typeform link not working. Jeff, is it not working just for George L, or is it not working for others as well? Okay, Richard says it's working fine. Okay. Okay, thanks, guys. Perfect. So thank you. Hope you got a ton of value. Looking forward to connecting with you guys in the future in any way we can help. Let us know. Take care. Enjoy the rest of New York Tech Week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.